Hello and welcome to Homeboys. I am not Joe McKenna, I'm Jason, I'm your host for the night. And it's a three amigos tonight. I don't know if we're going to be joined by any latecomers. Mr. Whatever his name will be the night might join us, I don't know. I think Joe is otherwise engaged. Joe's got a bit of a social life these days. So delighted to be joined on the line over in the over at Cambuslang, first of all, Mr. Scott McCoy. How you doing, mate?
I'm not bad, buddy. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. As far as Celtic goes,
aye, we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's start the fucking happiness.
You stay go, don't you? And in the Royal Borough, Mr. Longshanks himself, Liam Power. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. I'm super excited for Celtic again this week, mate. I can't wait. Chomping at the bit.
Fucking hell. So where I know. So well, we need to start with the St Mirren game. So I assume the threes were there. Well, I know you were there, Liam. You were there, Scott, as well, I suppose, aye. And
Scott, you go first for some positivity.
So before we go, I don't know about you guys, but I was mega excited for the game. With obviously the Green Brigade coming back, and I was expecting a raucous Celtic Park. Not sure I was expecting fireworks on the park, but I was expecting an amazing atmosphere off the park. And that fucking fell on its arse as well. Just never about it. But we'll go into the game, talk about the game first of all, and then we can talk about surrounding issues and anything else that takes our fancy. So, Scott, give your opinion on Saturday. What did you do? Did you just go to the game? Did you go for a beer with your mates before it or anything?
No. Quiet man. This. Try to think. What was I doing? So after Dundee, I'd been at the caravan and stuff like that, and I was just back at work, and I was going to be back at work. So I took it easy. I just drove out to the game. So most times I would park in Brighton, a wee estate, and walk up, but you need to be kind of out sharpish, yeah.
Yep.
So generally, I mean, you see me after a game, I'm usually belting down to the wee car park so I don't get caught in the major traffic, because if you get caught in the traffic, you're there for an extra half hour.
Definitely.
And so with games, you know yourself, you're 2 or 3-0 up. I've told you before, I make no apologies. I'm one of the guys that fucking skedaddles, know what I mean? Fucking when it hits 90 minutes, boom, I'm out the door, I'm running down the street. But I parked at Shawfield because she was Shawfield. I don't need to rush because I didn't have any expectation that this game wasn't going to be a fucking last minute 1-0 kind of thing. And so it turned out that way. I did not have the expectation as you did, but I think we can come to that and we'll talk about that in its entirety. But in terms of the game, I don't know, mate. I don't know if I am still. I think I'm past I'm waiting for us to click thing, right? And I'll take the 3 points as they come. The fact that, again, like I say every time we're on this, we're basically going to say a lot of the same things we say every week. But the fact we're still in a title race is wild. There is a bit of you kind of just wants to put out your misery rather than getting let down. But then there's the other side of you going, well, this is Celtic, we should be fighting to the last day. But anyway, come the game, I was kind of hoping in an actual start. I wasn't too surprised with the lineup. It was great to see Engels on the bench. That was a really, really big positive. It's funny with Engels because Celtic fans are clasping for anything, any positivity they know. And guys who I know don't rate Engels are going, maybe Engels can come back and give us a chance. You know what I mean? So it's kind of mad, and you're clinging on for the wee bits of positivity, as I say. I thought we started pretty well. We've scored one. It's quite rightly chalked off. The irony being if Chamberlain Disney follow up after McGregor's shot that saved Schwanchara's there, but do you fancy him to be fucking sticking it away? Don't know. We get the goal. Chamberlain's done well to react well and score. And then the energy dissipates. Second half, I don't know if it's just me, but I met my brother-in-law on the way home. I was running by him, and he says, "It's a man with a better team," and I was like, "Oh, I'd watch it." And he's going, "How would he know? How would he know?" And I'm going, "Because they never really done anything." I think I'm maybe wrong by this, and Sunday will prove me right or wrong. The new coach, the Craig McLeish guy, he seems to enjoy their midfield getting more involved in the game and taking half of the guys at the back. I mean, St Man had 2 or 3 guys who look good, but again, because we look so left, you don't know who's looking good for what reason. But anyway, St Man were passing about, and they were passing us off the park, but they were passing us off the park an hour and a half. And God, I've watched Celtic do that to teams.
I'm going to say,
And it doesn't and I think this team, this St Mirren team, is set up with the big boys up top. Will win that, and they play for the second ball, or the ball goes on the top and they'll run on it. When their forwards are brought back in, you're kind of killing half of their effectiveness if they're playing so far back. So whilst they had loads of the ball, we look clueless at times. I don't think, bar my own fucking pessimism, I don't think they offered much at all. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing really to be worried about. However, flying in the fact we just don't look. I've watched and listened to practically every podcast going over the past couple of weeks, and it's hard not to agree with people when they start talking about how we are being coached, because see, at this stage, some sort of kind of plan should be apparent, but it doesn't look like it, and our midfield just looks totally spent. It's frustrating that Chamberlain's no up to scratch. McGregor's coming back, but McGregor's no set the header alight, and we all know about Negrin's plus and negatives. So the midfield's a dudgeon now. And then you bring on McCowan, and McCowan gives you energy, but he gives you energy in a mad way, doesn't he? I mean, say he use it on there when he's fucking running to get a throw in, like 90th minute, you're 1-0. You're wanting the game done, and he's running to get a throw in and getting 3 kicks. That. You're like, what, am I fucking daft here? But I wasn't as negative as everybody else, which is quite mental considering I've been more negative than everybody else about everything else. I wasn't as negative as everybody else, but it really is. St Mirren's a bad team, they know. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're getting better, but they're a bad team. Dundee's not that great a team, and we're struggling, man. We're struggling, but we're still in it. So, fuck knows. Honestly, boys.
I know.
It's quite frustrating.
If we're having this conversation in 2 weeks, that we're still moaning, but we're still winning games. Say like it's after Easter Road.
I'm
not giving a fuck. Do you know what I mean?
See, the thing is, so everybody's right in what they're saying in terms of players and who should and shouldn't play. I think everybody's right, because there's nobody in the team that you kind of go surefire starter. Nobody. I mean, like I listen to the RGC, and we're kind of pretty high up in praising their boys. And they're saying I would take Dyson Maeda out again, but Dyson Maeda crosses a great ball for Iheanacho in the second half. That is in, that game's done. And then you're sitting there. It was a wonderful ball. It was a wonderful ball, and they've all got that in it. I mean, like Tierney's getting criticised. For me, I felt so much sympathy for Kieran Tierney in the first half, because Maeda. Like, see if the boys go, see the man, he's killing attacks. The boys go on to him and he's trying a first time pass and he's fluffing it. And maybe we'll get it back because he's fast, but he's nullified the quick counter. And I think I said this years ago, but know who would work with Kieran Tierney the new. I think Palmer would work brilliant with Kieran Tierney. Now, that is no me saying I want or desire, but just in terms of Palmer always looked to cut in and Kieran looks to overlap, and Maeda's kind of almost in his way. So, I don't know. Like I say, I don't think anybody's playing great, but we go to win. Wow, we move on, don't we? Don't we? I mean, see this game for years and years and years. We had a terrible record at hand, and maybe it's creeping back in. But it's a semi-final against St Mirren, and it's really this one. Legitimately, is just about winning, innit? Nobody fucking remembers semi-finals. So in terms of Saturday past, aye, good win. Good. It was good to get good 3 points. That's the way I'll do it rather than good win. Good 3 points.
That'll do. That kicks us off. That'll do.
I'll do, Donkey. I'll do.
Keep it going, Skip. Keep it going.
Man, right, okay. We'll have a go. Yeah, before the game, a bit livelier than you, Scott. I think, as Jason said, I was really, really excited about the game and the day. Working really hard these days, and just looking forward to a day out as well. Big Adamante was up with his boy, so we were going to meet him. End up going into the town to meet him, and a whole squad of other people as well as per usual. So Paul and Bex were up from Barnsley. Big Tony was there, and then interestingly, the dad of one of the players in the St Mirren team, was it Devaney, Jason? Was that his name?
The best player in the park.
Yeah, he was really good, wasn't he? Boy from Man United.
Aye. So the story is, Scott, see Paul and Becky for Barnsley. That Jacob Devaney that's in loan at St Mirren for Man United, he's from Barnsley. But he's declared for Ireland. His old man, I think his old man only played youth team for Ireland. But his dad played with Barnsley a couple of hundred times. I think he's been their caretaker manager a couple of times. So Paul and Becky know him pretty well. And by all accounts, seemingly Celtic's been looking at him. I don't know if there'd be any chance of that. Obviously, he's with Man United. But he looks a right player.
Yeah, he's good.
They're obviously very Celtic-minded family. So
yeah, definitely. And met a homeboy from America, but I'll let you cover that one, Jason, in your roundup. So just really looking forward to the game. Had a few pints in the town, up to the lounge, a few beers, and excited. The team was kind of as expected, I think. We had our weekly had a setback when Araujo was kind of ruled out for the season by the look of things. So that was a bit of a blow. We were hoping to get him back at some point. Donovan injured again, so Ralston starting right back. Kind of know what you're going to get, I guess, from Ralston. And then up front was probably the only decision. We debated it last week on the podcast. I thought Van Chara would start at least for 60 minutes. I think did he get took off at half time, or was it just after half time in the end? He struggled a bit. So it's kind of the team that you expected to see, and it's interesting, Scott, what you're saying there. That I think you sounded much less disappointed than me and Jason at the end, but it's probably because you were much less excited from the start of the game. So you're kind of probably much more level-headed. But I was, again, for about the 100th time this season, really thinking we'd had a spark and we might just start to see a bit of fluency from the team, which didn't turn out to be the case. And again, your point about Engels was really interesting, because I think all of us, supporters, players, probably the manager, everyone's just desperate for a spark from somewhere, and we're clinging on to any opportunity that, I've said all along, I think Engels is a decent player. I struggle to see what his full game is. And, he did really well when he come on, in fairness to him, but we're just looking for any hope, any returning player or new player or existing player, just to find a bit of form there. And listen to the press conference today, and no Osman tomorrow, no AJ tomorrow, and I'm genuinely gutted to hear that, but I don't know what I'm expecting, because these guys haven't played barely all season. So I think it just kind of shows a bit where we are, but we're looking for that bit of spark. I thought it started the game okay. I thought the weather was wild. The wind, I think, probably played a bit of a factor in the game. Really breezy day, but we did well. Goal disallowed, scored a goal after that. Seemed to be playing okay, but we can never build on the momentum of these opening goals. And like we spoke about in the Dundee game before, I think if we somehow get a second and go 2-0 ahead, it's just we're probably then going to stroll through the game, but get to half time relatively comfortable. But then I thought second half we just I don't know, we just weren't in the game at all. Again, Maeda's cross, great chance Iheanacho, he kind of took it quite well. I think he probably misjudged where he was in terms of being between the posts or not, because he just kind of side-footed it straight on. But even a bit further back, it would have gone in. But the longer that we go without getting that second goal, St Mirren played in a way I can't remember ever seeing them play, or certainly not in recent memories anyway. Like you said, very comfortable on the ball, knocking it about. Even though they had the two big guys up front who were much less reluctant just to punt the ball up and get it up there. We even had the benefit of the goalie being unfortunately injured in the first half. So you think, get a chance to have a few shots at the guy, but nothing really there. And I hadn't been following. I didn't know Motherwell had taken the lead at Hearts as well during the second half. I think when I checked, it had gone to 1-1, and then about 10 minutes to go, it was still 1-1. So you're kind of like, you got one eye on both games here, hoping that we're going to hold on for the win, and then that game will end in a draw. But obviously they managed to sneak a couple of late goals, and thankfully we did manage to hang on. But it's just uninspiring, isn't it, really? It's just, playing without the striker again, just trying to just find that spark. Like I was saying, it's not really there at the moment. It's a team and a management that probably could still win 7 games for the rest of the season, or 6 out of 7 games, and bring some silverware there. But on the flip side, you do just feel that we're one more result or performance away from certainly the league kind of starting to become out with our grasp. We might kind of improve as we start to play the better teams around us, but certainly on the teams lower down the table in the last few weeks, we've kind of struggled a bit to get our dominant performances in place. So just glad with the win in the end, but yeah, a little bit deflated after probably just building up the expectations a bit too much ahead of the game. So be interesting to see what Sunday brings. Neutral stadium. Obviously, we own one from earlier in the season, but it doesn't sound like there's going to be really any options to freshen up a little bit. I suppose you could put Maeda into the middle, but he's so far off form in terms of scoring. I actually think he's been much better at creating chances the last few games. He's put 3 or 4 or 5 decent opportunities across, but scoring he's not doing much. But that's the only option you've got really, and then you're back to giving Tenecti another go, or putting Yang there and putting Forrest in. So we're really limited in terms of options up top in terms of what we can do. But yeah, just hoping for that spark from somewhere to get the team going.
Well, that's a bit of fucking dampening proceedings, Liam. Thank you for that. Fuck's sake.
You can lift it back up, mate. By all means.
Well, you kind of said we were both deflated at the end. I was fucking buzzing at the end. Do you know what I mean? I was like, at the end when the fucking final whistle went, you're like, get in. It's a win. But I don't disagree with anything you said during the game. I just think our midfield is awful. It's like no energy at all. And I think Callum McGregor's a major part of that. He's holding us back. And with Neil saying he's been playing with an injury again, that's fucking, to me, that's gross mismanagement.
Yeah.
It's fucking, you put fucking somebody else in. I mean, it's fucking just drives me daft. And Bernardo wasn't even on the bench. So you say to yourself, I like him, but he seems to have a bit of dig about him, but he's that far out the picture. But Hatate, start with him. And as you say, the lesser spotted Sebastian Tenecki, what the fuck's happened to him? But I did say last week that it's like a bingo anytime he picks a team. That was about the first time we've had a settled team for the week before. The only change was Donovan's injury and Ralston came in. So the rest of the team was basically exactly the same that started against Dundee. So there is that. So you're thinking to yourself, there'll be a wee bit of continuity, but nah. I just feel our midfield is awful at the minute. And a lot of it's down to McGregor. And he's a Celtic legend. He's been unbelievable for us. And I get why the manager would want to play him. But if he's playing with an injury, and I think somebody gave us a stat, he only played 8 forward passes in the full game. And if you took that Jacob Devaney out of the starting team and put him where McGregor was, we'd probably walk the game. But with McGregor Oxley, Chamberlain, you've not got much energy. You've got Negrin running about like a headless chicken. But to be fair, Big Finchara, early on, he got a right good flick. There was a through ball played. I don't know if it was Tierney or whatever played him through. And he got a flick, and I think it maybe fell to Yang, but he couldn't get on target or whatever. And then we get the disallowed goal. At the game, I thought it was onside, but you see it again, the Oxley Chamberlain's a mile offside. And then the goal actually was kind of, Negrin did a good wee run out in the right, brought it in, a couple of through balls and stuff like that, and then it broke well. For Oxley Chamberlain, they stuck it away. And as I say, thank God he was there to put it away, because that was about it. We didn't look like scoring, as you said. Aniacho, you said you didn't know whether he was in front of the goal. He couldn't have got a fucking better view. He's standing right fucking beside the goal. Do you know what I mean? But aye, it was a bit of a bad bluff by him. He was raging after it, but
yeah, I thought he was level with the post, Joyce. That's what I was trying to work out. I'm not watching.
I think he was just at the right. If you're behind the goal, he was kind of just at the right hand side. He might have been kind of right with the post or a bit to the left.
Yeah.
But he's just had it straight on, just behind the goal. And but it was a great ball in for Maeda. Maeda's a funny one because his energy levels have definitely dropped, but he still puts in a shift, but nowhere near the amount of shift he put in last year when everything was going well. But he's still, I would still have him in the team. Where I think you made the point, Scott, where Tierney would maybe thrive better with somebody like Palmer. I would sort of counteract that and say I think Dice Maeda is a lot better with Greg Taylor there. You know, I just don't think him and Tierney complement each other. Just as you said, I think Greg Taylor, the way he was like the inverted fullback, he was kind of perfect folly for Maeda. But
no, but we don't have. But the thing is, we don't have fucking Greg Taylor and Dice Maeda.
No.
Maeda wants to get to fuck. So that's where because it was always a thing. I actually think we spoke about it. We might have suggested it was one of the reasons why the team was labouring so much under Brendan Rodgers was due to, and I'd like to come to the Brendan Rodgers thing again, right? I'd like to touch on that later, but we spoke about how the exits and the form almost pushed Brendan Rodgers' hand, certainly in terms of Negrin playing such a prominent role, because he was the only guy who seemed to find the net. We never replaced any of the strikers. Ida was stinking the place out. Maeda was stinking the place out. You'd obviously lost Kuhn. You hadn't replaced that. So we'd lost all these goals. And then Engels fell out the team at a point where Engels, McGregor and Hatate were looking like a good team, the three of them in there. And then you take out the fact that Greg Taylor was coming in and he was supplementing McGregor in the middle of the park, and you took that out and replaced it with Kieran Tierney. It was quite a change to a team that you almost had. Well, I certainly had sympathy for Brendan Rodgers that he was trying to figure things out. He was almost throwing things at the wall because our transfer policy just wasn't tying up. We weren't replacing like for like. We weren't kind of keeping the same momentum in the team. We were changing things too much. I think hindsight is proven that it was worse than all that. Do you know what I mean? But the sad fact of the matter is, we should be at. It's funny to come off the tangent to come back. We are getting into the last 7 games of the season, and we're praying for guys to come back, guys who have no played in months. We're talking about McGregor's no fit. We're talking about Iheanacho is no fit. We're talking about Chamberlain isn't fit. We're talking about reintroducing Alistair Johnson after 2 long injuries. We're talking about introducing Osman, who been bombed out of the team, coming in for 3 games, and then a big long injury. We are a shit show, if you think about it. We're an absolute shit show.
Totally.
So I mean, I think you're absolutely bang on about Tierney doesn't fit with Greg, but we all knew when Greg Taylor was going to leave, it was going to be a big blow because, as I said to you, maybe not last season, but certainly the season before, he was arguably one of our most important players. And the Tierney thing, whilst it all made sense in everybody's head, it was quite a thing to bring back that when it was probably the position we didn't need to. Do you know what I mean? And it was, we were never ever going to knock back Kieran, never ever. But I equate us signing Kieran Tierney then to people talking about signing Andy Robertson now.
Aye, definitely.
I suppose, Scott, there's a bit of irony, isn't there, in the Tierney thing, right? Because we had one opportunity to sign him, didn't we? You know, there's only ever going to be one opportunity, right?
Yeah,
he came out of contract that Arsenal, I don't know whether they had an extension or whatever, but they were happy for him to go. If he signed for anybody else at that point in time, and then it would have been too late to get him back at a later time. And it's just really unfortunate that Taylor was out of contract at the same time. You know, because if Taylor would have had a year left or whatever, I'm pretty sure he'd have stayed and he'd have got loads of appearances this season as well when you look at the way things have worked out. We benefited from having one opportunity to sign a player, and then a bit unfortunate that then that's probably driven the other player not to renew, although there's still a question mark over what deal, if any, he was offered.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, as I say, it's not looking forward to it. It's not looking forward to it, but I do think, see in the summer, once whatever happens, and we can all sit down and we find a night and we have a good few beers in us and we just do a big long, just talking about the season that passed and go over things. I think it will, loads of things will just pop up to us. This has been just a momentum season of everything going wrong. And our structure of a club hasn't made moves to soften the impact. Because, see, be honest, let's be honest, can you tell me another point where the injuries we've had, I mean, like Callum Osman comes out of nowhere, we're all criticising Rodgers, we're going, this young boy looks apart, within 2 games he's gone, and he's gone for fucking the vast majority of the season. It's been mental. And an actual come on against Red Star, and I'm going, by the way, we might have won a watch here. This big boy could what? And if you remember the Red Star game, what's his name, Negrin was playing. Negrin was playing off him, and the two of them look, and you're sitting there going, "That's a winner. That's a winner." And within a week or two, walking in the naturals app, and you're like, "Are you shitting me, man?" Throw in. I've also got. Fuck it, we might as well talk about it now. As I say, I've been watching a million podcasts, and I'm going to, sorry to everybody who listens to this. See your man Kevin Thompson. Now he does a podcast with Charlie McGrew.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. But I think Kevin Thompson talks really well. Right? I really do. I think he talks really, really well. And I was listening to him, but I was listening to Charlie McGrew, right? And Charlie McGrew was talking about at the end of his career when he went and signed for a club. And he says, I signed for it just kind of because I felt that's what I should do. And he says, I was there a day and I was like, I'm not into this. I can't be bothered.
Thistle, wasn't it?
Was it Thistle he went? Yeah, you're right. But, and do you know what it made me think about? You think about some of the guys we've got, like, guys, I'm going to go on a million tangent here to get to my point, but you think about, me and you, Jason, have often says we should go and get like an experienced head, but see the way we sign guys, if we're not getting to sit down and getting into the minds of guys, then we are literally gambling at an extreme rate for every transfer. Right? Somebody said Balak Visha, I'll cut. He's one of them. You know what I mean? But see, if you're having to convince guys to come to your club, then they're no into it. And then you throw in the fact that Scottish weather can depress the living daylights of anybody in the world. So you think about it. We went and signed all these guys in the summer, and all these guys are on a downward trajectory. They might be good players, but we've almost convinced them to come in. And while each of them's had a high point at some, it's a madness that we aren't sitting down with these guys and finding out if they're heads. Like Charlie Mulgrew going to Partick Thistle, we aren't sitting and finding out if they guys' heads are into coming to this club and busting their hole for it. Do you know what I mean? Are they here just to get away from a bad situation? Are they here just because we're offering fucking X amount of dough? You know what I mean?
I mean, see, the thing is, right, this maybe sound outlandish, but I think your point is the interview players.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
you probably don't. You know, you probably don't. And when you think the money they're earning, it's probably all done through agents. Well, I think I'll sign.
Sorry, Jason, before you carry on, that's exactly how I believe these signings have came. Just to kind of, before you carry on, I am led to believe that due to time restrictions and due to us failing to get guys who we actually had on list, we were basically entertaining. See, if somebody walked in with a Y scout, by the way, this guy's available and he wants to come, and we're kind of going, right, there's him scoring 2 goals, I will take him.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're not interviewing him, and it's gross mismanagement in a point where we're desperate, isn't it?
It's maybe the done thing in football. You know, it's maybe no many clubs maybe interview players, you know, but you would think to yourself, if you're a manager, you would think somebody like Rodgers or somebody like Ange, when they're getting a player, they would sit down and talk to the player, and they would make sure they want to be with them, and they want to give everything for them, and they want to find that their head's in the right place. You would think meticulous managers that, you know, but Martin O'Neill is at the end of his career. I don't think he's had much say in. I mean, you're in Vuka and stuff like that coming to the club. I don't think they've sat down there and can psychoanalyze their mental condition.
No,
you know.
No, I agree with that, and the situation we're in called for something. But I mean, do you remember under Rodgers when Rodgers made? I think he made 3 or 4 signings. The famous fucking Jeremy Toljan, who couldn't speak English, man. He spoke better English than me, fuck's sake. Jeremy Toljan joined Celtic, and we signed Buck, and we signed, who was the other one? Me, Marty liked him.
Timothy Weah, was it?
Timo Weah, well done, Liam. Yeah. And see, they guys, they all had a big part in getting us through 2 or 3 months. None of them ended up being great for us. But if you remember, I'm pretty sure Timo Weah scored a few goals. Jeremy Tolman started well, and Buck was excellent against Hearts at Tynecastle. Big results, and it got us through a sticky couple of months. Whereas the Mvukia boys scored. Livingston, was it? Or was it the cup game?
No, Adamu was it?
Was it Adamu who scored the late?
He scored on his debut, didn't he, against Dundee when he come on?
Was it Dundee? It was Dundee, wasn't it? We were 1 each.
Well, he scored in the last minute, at the home game.
I mean, so...
You were at that game, weren't you, Liam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, yes.
And the seats are
we'll come in on another penny in a minute, Jimbo.
Yeah, and Vuku wouldn't score in a brothel, would they? As the old saying goes. But
it kind of just backs up my point that what's that old saying? Fail to prepare to fail. It's this season has had loads go wrong for us. Maeda falling off a cliff. You can't judge for that after last season, but when you hear he wanted to go, bad management. When Engels, we got offered to, I mean, your man, Paul John Dykes, is saying on his show this week that Celtic had was it 12, 13, 14 million pound bid for Trusty? Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, if Celtic are truly this buy low, sell high thing, then that's a way to fuck straight away, isn't it?
I think we're back to selling into a corner here.
Oh, 100%.
Aye, because we've just no got the bodies to be able to get rid of these guys for money because there's nobody to take their place.
Exactly.
But I just think, see, kind of touch on the point that you made, right? I think Celtic as a football club are an absolute basket case because I think it's common knowledge. And I heard the day, I meant to say to you before we come on here, I won't mention any names, right? But somebody was talking to a family member of mine the day, and he told them that, he says, not a person in Celtic's board has got any power whatsoever. Yeah. Dermot Desmond vetoes absolutely everything. Everything that happens at Celtic is going to go through his family. So there isn't, your Nicholson, the lot of them, they've no power at all. Everything that happens at Celtic is through him. And it's in his decision, and that's it. So it's like a dictatorship we're living under, you know? And see, I know this for a fact as well, and obviously it was a basket case, but see, I think I said it on this pod. See, when Wilfred Nancy came to Celtic with his number 2, see when they turned up at Celtic, the catering manager met them and let them into Celtic Park. By the way, I swear to God, there was no official representation for Celtic there. The catering manager let them in, showed them where his office was, and the two of them walked out. Did I not tell you this on this?
Oh.
And the two of them walked out on the park and stood and looked about and took photos and selfies. And see, 5 or 6 minutes later, they fucked off because there was nobody there.
Wow.
That's the kind of football club
we are a shambles, man.
Oh, it's fucking. I think it's worse than MD even thinks.
Yeah. How many times have you heard me say we've scratched under the surface and it's shown to be a million times worse than we ever envisaged in every level, innit? I mean,
yeah. See, sorry, Liam, just a
that's okay, carry on, mate.
See, Nicholson came out, remember, the I don't know if it was yourselves, Paul, Scott, the collective, that handed the points to Celtic. I think it was around about the AGM time, and Celtic accepted that their communication could be better. That was one, I'm not making this up, Celtic did say that, didn't they? Michael Nicholson said it at some meeting, and he says, we'll take on...
The first ever pre-collective meeting in Gracie's, the one that was kind of called after the vote of no confidence by all groups, it was the Irish Association representative, Robbie, I think it is. But he was in the room that day and he said that he was in talking to Michael Nicholson, and Michael Nicholson says, communication's poor, yeah. I've actually got a sticky on my my whiteboard that I've got to get better at communication.
Yeah, and since that day, communication's got 100 times worse for a fucking non-starting position. You know, it actually went to fucking, Pravda material. I mean, the communication for Celtic now is just fucking abominable. I mean, Martin O'Neill is their spokesman now. It's just fucking ridiculous.
That is beggar's belief. That is beggar's belief.
As a football institution, we are an absolute fucking basket case. And all this pish that we've got the money in the bank and, that mob are years behind us, it just shows you one transfer window is fucking wiped out,
Well, I've always been that, but you always thought the money in the bank was a good buffer. But I've got to imagine we've fucking rattled through a great amount of that. Because as well we know, nothing's coming out of fucking Dick Dastardly's pocket. I mean, for all guys, Scott Brown, shut up, man, Just shut up.
He's looking for a gig here, isn't he?
Mate, I get that, but even fucking Willie Hockey coming out talking about statues and all that. Fuck off. You know how hard it is to get a statue made of fucking a Celtic legend, and you've got fucking cunts like him coming out saying, fucking hell, man. It's Callum McGrew was the same, and I would like to believe again Paul John Dykes, fucking that's his second shout out. We own his money. He was saying that they sat him down and they kind of went through everything. He's going, aye, that's a good point. Aye, that's a good point. Aye, that's a good point. These guys just don't think about it. I mean, like, aye, he's invested all this money. He's not invested all this money. He's fucking bought shares. And if he goes and buys, he gets all his money plus more back. Do you know who doesn't get any money? Oh, it's three sitting here the now. What we've put in to sell it is fucking unrefundable. We don't get nothing back, you know what I mean? Fucking hell, and we're happy to do it, but treat us fucking right.
See the thing as well. See ex-players giving their opinion, all well and good, right? But let's face it, the only ex-players that you would listen to would be like Tom Boyd, Charlie Gallagher, and God rest him, John Fallon.
Sure.
You know, they're the guys that go to games. How many ex-players are actually avid Celtic supporters?
Jason, I told you when I spoke to Jim McInally, right? So Jim, I tried to do a wee podcast with Jim, and I made an arse up with the sound. I've always meant to revisit it, but I noticed there was on Axom, so I've kind of just left it. But Jim went half in one talking about Neil Lennon. Right, this was just after Kairat, and he went half in one, and he was like, "Fucking Neil Lennon, who's he to tell us?" Who's he to tell us? Exactly. Jim goes to every Celtic game, pays for his tickets. Every Celtic game Jim McInally goes to.
I didn't realise that. So
every game. Jim McInally loves Celtic, man. Loves Celtic. And he's got a bee in his bonnet, but he's like, who the fuck? Neil Lennon has never spent a penny on our club. And I just love the way he kept saying, our club. Because he tells a story that his dad grabbed him one day. He was playing Sunday football. And he was the best player on the park by a stretch. And his dad's like, right, it's time for you to fucking get serious. And he's like, but Dad, I want to go and see Celtic. He's like, Celtic will always be there. You need to fucking look after yourself. And that's when he went and started playing. And it turns out Celtic signed him. Do you know what I mean? So, but
I mean, guys like him, 100%, because they're just the same as us. But for feeling out Chris Sutton and that, and comedy value and that, bang on and everything, but who gives a fuck what they say? You have John Hartsons and stuff like that. These guys don't give a flying fuck about Celtic, and they've no clue about what supporting Celtic is. None of them. You know, they don't live in our world. They never paid into a game. They never fucking grew up following Celtic. And I mean, they've got an affinity to the club. Fine. But for these guys to talk on national radio and national TV stations as if they're the voice of the fans, go and fuck yourself. Couldn't give a fuck about any of them.
No.
You know, it's just, but that's the way we think. But you get loads of folk actually take what they say as gospel. Frank McAvenny say, fuck Frank McAvenny. Do you know what I mean? He's just fucking riding the gravy train, just fucking fleecing Celtic fans left, right, and centre anytime he can get a coin. And I dare say when he was a kid, he was a Celtic supporter, right? But he never grew up. I mean, he grew up as a professional football player, and now he's just fucking riding the gravy train. And at the end of the day, it makes money. You know, it's a fair play to them all. You know, it's up to them. But nah, seen it too often when obviously part of the Tommy Gemmell community project, and you're trying to get players to do stuff for you. Guys like Tom Boyd, not a problem. Joe Miller, not a problem. But loads of other ones, fucking, how much are we talking? You know? And then the conversation ends. I tell you about Big Hartson, fucking disgrace. You know? So, see, like, couldn't give a fuck about any of them. They don't mean anything to me. You know, once, as I say, I support the jerseys, know the person wearing it. And obviously you get an affinity for them when they're playing for your club, right? And you grow fond of them. And like the Z-Bomb, Liam's daughter, Tony Ralston, you know. But I mean, he would probably be one of the ones you would listen to because he has a Celtic supporter, you know. he could be one of the guys that would probably follow Celtic when he retires. I think KT as well, definitely. You know, they are Celtic supporters. But if you listen to them, you want to listen to them from a supporter standpoint, no for a player earning a wedge, you know, to turn up and play for us.
I mean, Liam, you're awfully quiet here. I don't know. If
I was coming in 10 minutes ago, mate, but I'm just
sorry, mate.
I
was laughing one on you, go, Liam.
No, listen, carry
on. Still, I can do too well, your bum.
We said we're going to struggle to do half an hour. We're still on the game, and it's 45 minutes in, so we're doing
Game's going, mate. Game's going.
Now, I was just reflecting back on what you were saying, well, both of you, about how much of a fuck up it is. Just looking at the January transfer window in itself. I mean, like, we had an appalling summer window. We've got a change of manager. We've not replaced Kyogo, not replaced Nicholas Kuhn, and like just to think that we couldn't find a single decent attacking player in that whole time. Now, all the months up to January, right through to January. I mean, Mvunku, whatever his name is, we were going to pay on the brink of signing a contract for £4 million for that guy. On the back of signing two wingers for £5 million on the last day of the summer transfer window, and Balikwisha turned out to be probably one of our worst ever players. And then we were going to sign a permanent deal for this guy. I thought it was $4 million. Was it a different fee? Maybe?
I think it was $3 million. $3 million. And you think the wee Murable boys fell off. He's fell off a cliff a wee bit. But are you kidding me that if you were going to spend on him, why would you not go for
100%? I mean, the boy come on at Ibrox, obviously in the cup game, and obviously it turned out well for us at the end of the game. But he just looked like someone that literally been plucked out of the crowd to come and put a shirt on and play a game of football. I mean, he couldn't control the ball. He couldn't do a single thing. And it's genuinely scary, that how bad this club continues to perform in key areas like that. But the other point I wanted to make as well was it does amaze me that O'Neill's obviously out the game for a while, right? He's quite old, but he's got a lot of connections there. Maloney's been in and around the English game for a while. Fotheringham's obviously coached at a few different clubs. Surely they must have a network of people that they know that someone can say, like, Scott, you're talking about loans, right? Obviously, we had massive success with Keane and Bellamy back in the day, not in terms of winning the league and silverware, but, two of the best players I've seen at Celtic over, that period. And you talked about the three players we brought in over that window as well. But with the World Cup coming up this summer, there must have been bundles of players that are high talent, high ability, not getting an opportunity, want to get themselves ready for the World Cup. And it just amazed me we couldn't even find one of them in that in that area or that ballpark, And I'm not expecting O'Neill to have a big long list of players, but surely in Maloney and Fotheringham, between them, there must be some contacts there that can drag some players out of the English game that are far better than the fucking diddies we've ended up with.
Liam, it's interesting. So I said earlier I'd like to kind of talk about Rodgers, and as I say, we were going to do a Rodgers retrospective when he left, and we never realised how fucking mental the season would go for then. I mean, and it has. And like I say, I think end of the season we'll do a Rodgers retrospective. We'll talk about the Nancy appointment and everything that went with it, and then we'll talk about the season in general, because there's so much to talk about. I mean, you think the collective feel like he's been here for years, only started in fucking last year. But see, Rodgers, right? I want to put it to use. I was thinking about this the other day. So we came out of that, again, here's another one that was on Axon. Again, it was said that Peter Lawwell commented that Celtic needed to watch what they were doing when we sold Kyogo for 10 million. Now, if you look back to that transfer window, do you remember the boy that we were after, the Danish fella, Strisgarden?
Yeah.
He ended up going down to Norwich, and he stank his suit. But Norwich are struggling. See, in terms of all your new players, I always feel sympathy for new players coming into a team that's the main guys are struggling. And all their main guys are struggling. And our keeper was struggling, McGregor was struggling, Maeda was struggling, Hatate was struggling. Nobody was on fire. So I've got total sympathy for guys like Kieran Tierney, for Negrin, even for like the Balak Wisha, a day of sympathy for however stinking he looks. But
see, before you go, Scott, I think a point needs to be addressed as well. Talking about how much a basket case our club is. See the young boy Yang, he deserves a fucking medal.
Right, we'll come to that, aye, because we said this last week, didn't we, when we were talking about a player of the year? We were saying the ways. But so if you go back to that transfer window, we were playing Aston Villa and we decided to sell Kyogo before that game. You remember? And we brought in Jota back in.
And sorry, Scott, and Maeda was suspended for the next game, which we knew before we let goal go. So.
Yeah. So we done that. We made that decision. It was strange then. It was strange now. It was the timing about it that we couldn't accept, or we couldn't say to Rennes, wait a week. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially when it seems Rennes didn't even want him. But I think at that point it started. The downfall started. Hindsight allows us to say that, but I think if you look into it deeper, this is based on my head, right, before anybody thinks I'm fucking... I think that was the time that Tisdale was getting... Because, see, at that point, according to the rumours, we were offered... Tisdale offered Brendan Rodgers the Japanese boy as a replacement. What was his name? We signed him. Shin. He was and Brendan Rodgers flatly said, no, I'm not interested in this guy. And the team kind of plodded on. We had the Bayern thing and then it all fell off a cliff. And we weren't great getting into the cup final. I mean, we had highs like the Aberdeen game, but the cup final happened, the decision with Schmeichel Weber. And then we signed Yamada anyway. So something happened from that transfer window to the summer with Rodgers and the board. That disconnect didn't happen because of the summer transfer window. That disconnect definitely happened in the months after that window, because you can't go for the manager telling you, I do not want this guy, to Celtic going, well, you're fucking getting him. So the disconnect has started in that transfer window.
Scott, I was thinking about this yesterday or today. Why make the effort to go and get Rodgers? I know you want to cover this separately.
Yeah, no. That's 100%.
Why make the effort to go and get Rodgers back again when he left under the circumstances you felt he wasn't being back the first time? He'd achieved all he could domestically in the game for us. So, on what basis were you bringing him back unless you're going to say, look, we just have to put our faith in this guy and give him the money that he wants?
That's the eternal question. What was the fucking point? He came back, he done the job, he took us to a level that we hadn't been. And what galls me, and I hear Celtic fans using it to batter Rodgers. Now, I was off the fucking Rodgers radar, same as everybody else. But again, hindsight allows you a different perspective. It doesn't. You can't criticise people for being wrong then and then kind of correcting themselves and looking back and analysing. But see, Brendan Rodgers, we supplied Brendan Rodgers with Ida, we supplied him with Engels, and we supplied him with Bernardo, and we Trusty, right? And but is he know the manager? Is he know the guy? See if he wants to put these guys on the bench. Allow him to put them on the bench. We were heading towards a treble.
Yep.
And we were heading towards the treble. We had one of our best. We qualified out of that league the first time it happened. We didn't embarrass ourselves in against Bayern. Things were looking up. There was an optimism within us.
Remember, Scott said,
sorry, mate. And then people use the fact that Engels and Ida were on the bench to kind of go, well, who the fuck does he think he is? Who the fuck does he think he is? I mean, but he's the manager. He should be allowed to fucking determine who's playing. We all say that money that we spent is used against them. We are now using the same money to attack Rodgers. Now, somebody's asked, did Rodgers refuse to commit to a new deal? That's fine. Why give him a fucking 3-year contract if you're going to fucking crack up once 2 year in?
Yeah.
If he does it 3 years, he's done his job. What the fuck is... Like I say, my opinion is based a lot on hindsight with Rodgers, because I was as vociferous as anybody else and I still think we should have done better against Kyrat. But that transfer window, I think, broke Rodgers. That one was so cool. I really do believe that.
Yeah, we were one penalty. We're a penalty away from last season being arguably the best season of modern times.
Yeah,
that would have been a treble, and on the brink of getting to the last 16 or whatever it was of the Champions League.
Aye, but the blessed Mr. Flynn never flinched for his backing of Rodgers. So, I mean, at the end of the day, all your points are valid. I'm still raging, but excuse me, but we should have done better, and Rodgers should have done better with the tools at his hand, right? But, and this is a big but, when we know the state this football club's in, the football club was in that state while he was the manager, and you can't really blame him for getting to fuck. Because
no, definitely.
As you say, they bring him in, and he's obviously been given assurances, and then a year and a half into the job, they're just ripping up the contract that they fucking made him sign and just saying, no, it's our way or the highway now.
Yeah. I think that transfer window was the point that they said, well, Brendan, you better go on track with Tisdale, because that's a guy we are putting our support behind. And it's been proven to be a massive folly. And
see for me, see if it was you, Scott, or you, Liam, right? See if you were Brendan Rodgers, because Brendan Rodgers never says anything that he's no carefully thought about. He's a wily fox, right? See if it was me and I was a proper Celtic man and things had transpired and I'd left the way he'd done, I would be doing my own interview and fucking...
Yep.
I'd be pulling the covers off and telling everybody actually what went on. You know, because he's left. Has he signed an NDA or whatever when he's left? I don't know. But it's fucking... It's scary how the Desmonds came out and destroyed the guy on the official club fucking media channel. And he's never said a word about it. You know, maybe well in time, but I would love to hear his point of view.
Yeah.
I'd love for him to come out and just say, because we us protesting against the board and fucking basically he started the ball rolling. Because that's what made a load of people sit and wake up.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to when he came back in, right? So I remember you forwarded a podcast. I wasn't on that podcast, the first one after you came back in. I think you asked the question, how long will he stay for, all that sort of stuff, right? And I said the next time I was on, I struggled to see why he wanted to come back to us. And I think that was construed. That was construed as me being negative about him. I'm like, no, I'm not being negative about him. I'm struggling to see the motivation for him being here again, unless we've said we're going to back you heavily. We're going to have a genuine attempt at Europe here, because he'd done everything. You know, won everything domestically. Won 7 out of 7 cups the first time, so he can only ever equal that. You know, it's really difficult to kind of do anything more in that regard. And then he was quite complimentary, wasn't he, about Mark Norwell and the whole setup and the whole structure of things in his first season when he came back. And then that completely obviously fucking nosedived in the second time round. And it's difficult to get a straight story off him, Jason, like you said there, because he's 1 minute he's very complimentary about the structure around him, about the people that's doing the transfers and about the setup that Celtic have got in place. And then as soon as things start to go sour, he's kind of completely turning around and giving a different story. So it's hard to know what's the truth.
A few things you spoke about there, boys, right? I thought, see the thing that Flynn said that resonated with me as soon as he said it, right? And I think Flynn talks one pile of shit, right? I hope you're listening. The big thing that stuck with me was, aye, lads, we might get rid of Rodgers now, and it might be the right thing to do the now. But see in a year time, see in 2 years' time, we'll be back here doing the exact same thing because we're in a big fucking. And I was like, fuck me, he's right. He's absolutely correct. Liam, I remember what you said, and I agreed with you. I didn't see why. I didn't go as vociferous as you were. Know what I mean? I kind of went, but I did agree with you because I was like, why is he coming back unless he's had promises that it's not going to go the same way?
Yeah.
I remember you both met my mate Stu, and I remember Stu, me and him walking up to a game after. Remember the first season was rough under Rodgers, when obviously we could be having Kamara, and I remember him talking to Stu, and I'm going, see, if we're no planning to back him properly, then I would rather we get rid of him. And he's going, you get sacked Rodgers, and I'm going, no, just say, by the way, this isn't going to work, and then set ourselves on a level that we can get the best out of what we're going to do. With hindsight, that would definitely have fell flat on its face and made us look worse. I mean, but the Rodgers thing, Rodgers' time at Celtic finished the same way it finished at Leicester and the same way it finished at Liverpool. He gets scatterguns. He kind of starts playing. He's obviously a maniac. Right? That's as much as we feel sympathy for him. He's obviously a fucking crackpot, and he would say anything to make sure that you fucking think he's fucking God's gift. I think he would tell you blatant lies to your face.
Oh, aye.
You know what I mean?
No doubt about
that. Aye,
and smile while he did it as well.
And smile, aye, and then pat you in the back.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that he's 100% wrong or 100% right. The hindsight's a massive one because we look.
Go on, Scott, finish off. Sorry, no, can I finish off? I just think that it comes right back to Jason's point there that Dermot Desmond runs everything. Do you know what I mean? He's got the complete control over everything, and if that's true, which it seems like it is, why are people like Rodgers and O'Neill so hooked by this guy?
It's because they're employed by him at the time.
That's what I was coming to, Jason. Is it that they're just they're not desperate, but the offer of a job at Celtic and the money that comes with it is just too good to turn down at their point in time in their career? Because obviously Rodgers had failed to a degree at Liverpool. Then he'd lost his job at Leicester. O'Neill's coming back in after being out for years. They don't want to rock the apple cart because of where they are at the time, or can they really not see, through the man that's in charge of the place?
I hope they can see through it. They all know what he's all about. The guy's an egomaniac, right? But they're employed by him, getting fortunes off him. So they're hardly going to fucking. And the thing is, let's face it, and it gets back to my point about ex-players, and I'll include ex-managers in that. They're no Celtic supporters that we are. They're career men.
Yeah, I agree. But see, if you look at even just now, right? O'Neill's come back in, right? He's fucking stabilised the club. He's got them right back on an even keel, on the brink of the league cup final. Bring Nancy in, everything fucks up again. Get O'Neill back again for a second time. Now, obviously, he's been rewarded handsomely for his time here. But, if you look at the two key things O'Neill needs to be able to do his job and win this league, is an atmosphere and a backing of the support at the ground, which he's been denied the whole time he's been here, up until Saturday, and the players to do the job. And he's had an absolute appalling January transfer window there. Surely at some point you got to say, well, fucking come on, enough's enough, man. You're asking me to perform miracles there, and you're not giving me any of the tools I need to do my job.
See, there's Oh, sorry, you go.
Rodgers towards the end of his time did come out. He just went rogue, you know, and he was basically calling it out every week. But that was obviously affecting the players on the park, and you know, because you remember, like 3, 4, 5 weeks before Rodgers actually left, every weekend it was like he was slating somebody, you know, and he was getting at the, you know, because mind his interviews were actually car crash material, but he was obviously getting his point across without actually coming out and saying it. And that's when obviously Dermot Desmond had to get rid of him.
See the thing about fan media, right? So obviously you've got the 4 times in a podcast. Hey boy, see your man Tony. I listen to man, and he must have called Dermot Desmond a stupid old cunt about 12 times in the space of about 3 minutes, mate. And I couldn't move for laughing, right? But do you remember? And it was during that period that your man fucking Harry Brady spoke. He was at the meeting, and he asked Brendan Rodgers about the leak about him into the paper. And Brendan Rodgers went, yep, somebody's leaked that. And I often wonder if that was one of the catalysts that kind of led to the ban of the fan media. I mean, they said they were doing an overhaul because everybody was being negative, you know what I mean? And basically, and I kind of do understand that. If people are sitting,
explain that again, Scott. I didn't really get what you meant there.
Right. See, so Rodgers had a. Do you remember, like, it was released in the paper that somebody slaughtered Rodgers within Celtic. I think it was like Peter Law was the name that was put to it, and Rodgers was, and it basically says there's people within Celtic who'd rather he get rid of him because he's looking after himself. But the only people who asked that was the fan media at the press conference. And Rodgers replied to it. He went, yeah, I believe I think it's terrible, and the club needs to find out who done it. But that was it wasn't the mainstream media asked, it was the fan media. And you think Rodgers and his Dermot and his boy came out and slaughtered Rodgers after that, and then they banned fan media. And I kind of always wondered if that stuck in the craw more than anything else. You know what I mean? If that was like, why have we got these guys asking questions like that? We don't need any of them. I don't know. I just.
All right, I get what you mean now. Right, understand. Aye, because they don't. They want pre-arranged questions and no fucking controversy. And
aye.
Yeah.
I mean, Martin O'Neill's a godsend for them, right? Because Martin O'Neill can. I watched a press conference today, and Martin O'Neill does a great job of saying absolutely nothing for 10 minutes.
Aye, yeah. Totally. We 2 hours there. 2 hours there. Absolutely fucking nothing. Mentioned Dermot about fucking 6 times. I could have fucking spewed into my mouth.
Yeah, and people dying and people's age.
Death. And honest to God, he's like. They need to watch him in the interviews because he could come out and say something. Fucking, there could be lawsuits. Fucking, he's at that age now. Fucking, you never know what's coming out. But aye. But you're right, Scott. He's just I don't know what he's doing there. But I'm glad he's there because if he wasn't there, I don't think we would have a squeak in this league.
Yeah,
you know.
I agree wholeheartedly, but right, seeing Martin O'Neill never come back, where would Celica went? Honestly, because I've got Neil Lennon stuck in my head.
Oh, aye, 100%. It would have been him or fucking Joseph Venglos' son or something like that. It would have been some cunt that fucking, you know. See, to be honest with you now, I would kill to get Ange back now. And fucking that's just because I can only see them going to get somebody that was already there. I don't think they've got any vision at all. You know, somebody posted in fucking one of the chats. It seemed like who was it was getting interviewed? They fucking put it was some fucking top. It was a Crystal Palace manager or whatever. He was getting
Glasner.
interviewed for the job. Aye.
Yeah,
Not a fucking hope in hell.
So I get sent to Glasner.
You get sent. Aye.
Do you know who this is? And I was like, fucking right. I'd take Glasner in a second.
Aye.
But I mean, I know Glasner's stock has dipped somewhat ever since he's kind of. But Glasner fell out with his own board because they were trying to sell that gay. And
Exactly. Fucking imagine coming to us, for fuck's sake.
What was that famous Jack Nicholson for Batman? Where did he get a load of us? Fucking hell, man.
You ain't seen nothing yet, kid.
That's it.
But
no, it's again, we're going to get into the same point as we always talk about, but I just don't have any confidence that we'll get anything in plan for next season. And here, do you know what I was thinking about today, right? I was thinking about if things go wrong, to look at the positive that if we had something in place in terms of a management, in terms of new players, in terms of refreshing the squad, Celtic getting into. So if we finish second, we don't go into the Champions League qualifiers, do we?
I thought we did if we were second.
Oh, we did, right? Okay.
I could be wrong. I think we.
But you get in and it's a nightmare.
Oh, I think we start playing next week. Know what I mean?
The Champions route as well, so you got no chance, man.
Aye, so it just leads me to think that if you've got a fresh mindset, you've got a fresh management team, you've got a fresh head in the players, that you can go into the Europa League and actually get a proper good go. Because look at the Europa League and the Conference League and now it's great to see these teams in there every year, do you know what I mean? Rather than these Champions League teams dropping in. Don't get me wrong, it kind of just galls me that the EPL teams who are spending £200 million and fucking are playing again. But alas, what it is I mean, Crystal Palace been in it. You can't even know like that. You know what I mean? Crystal Palace is a good club. Still, yeah. But I mean, even me daft teams like Villa are fucking doing well. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, what an old school semi final you've got there. Villa and Nottingham Forest.
Oh, Nottingham Forest here. I mean, you've definitely got an English team in that final.
Class, man.
It is proper old school.
But do you understand my point? And I'm not trying to kind of shine a turd there. Say it does go wrong, but if you manage to kind of figure things out and kind of get it right, then you could have a proper, good, enjoyable go at the Europa League, making some fucking memories, beating some good. I mean, see the Europa teams we get beat after this year, garbage. Huh? Know what I mean? Getting fucking mauled after fucking Midtjylland. Come on, he's pissed.
I know, and I remember everybody saying they're a top class side. What the fuck?
I thought they were.
Are they still in it, mate? Are they still in it? Oh, they fuck.
Hey, they were good against us because we were fucking awful.
Honky tonk.
You know, that was one a black mark for Emil Watt, but over the piece he's been really good for us. And as I say, so let's talk about the rest of the league campaign, right? Where we actually see it. And
Jason, sorry to there's no. I've been on social media this week, mate. There's no point. The league's already won. Trophy's already in Ibrox. From what I've been seeing, social media this week.
Let them carry on. See, here's the thing, right? I'm actually a pretty good place now because I've made my peace that we're no winning it, right? So I'm just enjoying the ride, and that's how when the final whistle went on Saturday, I was celebrating, you know, because it's like 3 points, another one done, and an interesting thing that you need to think about as well, right? See when we play Falkirk, see that weekend, so next weekend, first weekend of the split, right?
I'll not be there.
You know there, no?
Nah, it's a Wayne's fucking communion.
Oh, is it?
I've got one as well, but I'm leaving at 4 o'clock.
I know, but I'm fucking Wayne. I says to Rosie, which out? She's like, are you fucking?
Aye, so the interesting thing, right? The way the fixtures have always came out, which I hadn't thought about, right? The Rotten Mob are at home as well to Motherwell. right? So see after that, please God we beat Falkirk, right? Regardless what happens in the other game. Say the other two teams win, right? Say Hearts beat Hibs. And by the way, see Hearts keeping winning the now. It's not a bad thing for us because it's
correct.
It's a wee bit of protection, that.
Because I was thinking about this, right? So see if you could bet your life on it, right? Because the Rangers fans, they definitely think they're going to win the league, right? Fair enough. If I was them, I probably would as well. But if you could now, you could take Celtic and Hearts or Rangers. What would you pick?
How do you mean? What do you mean?
Right. Somebody says to you, I'm going to give you a free bet. I'm going to give you 10 grand that you can stick on the bookies, and both of them are even money, right? One bet is Celtic or Hearts to win the league, and the other bet is Rangers. So taking off your Celtic specs to now, if you were just a cold-hearted gambler, what one would you choose?
Celtic or Hearts?
I would as well.
Celtic and Hearts, because Hearts are leading.
I just put my Celtic B specs on to answer that question.
Aye. But do you know what I mean? So I still think I would say without a doubt they're the favourites, right? Yeah. But here's the bit where I think kind of puts it back into like us or Hearts' corner. Because after the first round of fixtures, they're at home to Motherwell, right? That means there's 4 games left. They've got 3 away from home and 1 at home.
Yeah.
4 games left, 3 away from home and 1 at home. That's not going to be easy.
100%. That's what I've been saying. That's what I was saying last time when I was on there. Fixtures stack up best for us out of all 3 by a mile.
Aye, but it's that point when you think they play their first game of the split at home. It would have been in their benefit to play their first game away. You know, and then it's 2-2.
Yeah, good point.
Jason Lee, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Right, I shared this on Facebook, and Johnny Mackay replied, "No doom and gloom."
No doom and gloom. But I've made my peace that we're not going to win it, right? So I'm just here for the ride now, and obviously I still think we can win it, right? But it's just every game is just going to have to be a battle. And folk are saying maybe playing Negron up front, and I just don't think he'll be doing that route. I just think it'll be the same kind of team as we're playing at the minute. But I'd like to see Tuneki getting a chance, you know, just to bring a bit of flair. But back to the point that you mentioned, Yang has been outstanding for us. I know he's no the best player in the world, but that boy's attitude never, the way Celtic treated him, that he's still kind of up for the cup. And the players are still trying. They're trying their best, and they want to win. You know, they're professional football players. And the thing is, as well, we've got Celtic supporters in the team as well that, you know, it's going to try everything to get it done. We've got Mark O'Neill. To me, he's a dinosaur in football terms, but I think at this stage, I think it could be a benefit to us to have like an old school type dinosaur just to get the win. Nothing else matters. Do you know what I mean? Just win by any means. You know, if we get a dodgy penalty to win 1-0 every game, to at the end of the season and play absolute shite, I don't care. You know, it's just that final whistle going at the end and us being 1 goal in front of the other one.
I still think it's a big influence, Jason. I know we had this conversation last week, but, you know, when we come into playing the derby game when we're at home and then we're playing Hearts, you know, you want someone with that experience and that track record of winning, you know, in your dressing room. I don't think he's doing much on the training pitch, like as always, but he's still the guy that can, I know he's staying in Doddery and whatever just now, but he's still the guy that can motivate that team, in my opinion, to get up to win a game. And like we said, you know, we've played Rangers how many times under him? They've not beaten us once over 90 minutes yet.
We've not beat them.
No. A big thing you're saying about the Huns is the Huns have only lost 2 games this season, right? Which is pretty big. They've lost to Hearts twice. Lost to Hearts twice. Do you know what I mean? And they've got to go to Tynecastle. That'll be fucking huge, that game, man. Huge.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah. that would be the kind of nightmare scenario for us, wouldn't it? It's like us to win every game, but Hearts beat us in goal difference. Because that's the.
See, at this point, if the Huns don't win a league, because like, see, I love the actors.
Took the words out of my mouth there, man. Any combination with Hearts in is fine.
If it comes down to, I gave a scenario last week, right? Obviously, and they were humming. Joe was humming and hawing about it, and I'm like, if we were 1 point in front of Rangers.
We're back to this fucking madness.
And 2 points behind Hearts getting into the last game of the season, would you take it? And Joe's like, I'm no sure. I'm like, fucking hell, bite your hand off. But I would actually take now that for us to win every game and Hearts to win every game, but us having to beat them 4-0 last game of the season to win the league, I would take that now. Do you know what I mean? To wipe out the goal difference. I would take something like that. Which I don't
Listen, if we can get to a playoff in the last day of the season and winner takes all, right? See if we can get to that, I'd be delighted. I'd be delighted because we are sitting at fucking 4.5 point. If we fucking drop points, it's as good as deed for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we don't want the fucking jobbies to win the thing. You know what I mean? And however galling it might be, and if you could have picked another team outside of fucking the Huns to know to win the league would have been Hearts, but is what it fucking is, you know what I mean? Fucking thingy. Mark fucking croaked it just so he didn't have to watch us, you know what I mean? Fuck's sake.
I've been thinking about that by the law.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Well, my mates up in Edinburgh, Hibbies, they're beside themselves. They're like, this can't happen. They keep texting.
Oh, right. I'll tell you what we forgot to talk about, Jason. We forgot to talk about the game again.
Aye. So, obviously, great news, the boys getting back in. And as I say, me and Liam, you maybe weren't, but me and Liam were expecting all sorts at the game and everybody to join in. And I was trying my best, And I just thought the atmosphere was flat as fuck. Just everybody reverted to type, just expecting the boys to create the atmosphere and everybody just sits in the bonds again. Fucking pisses you right off.
Yeah, I was shocked by the amount of empty seats as well. I don't know about you two. I thought it was going to be chocker full, but there was thousands of empty seats around the place. Not maybe 2,000 or 3,000 empty seats. I thought around the ground.
And the game was sold out.
Yeah, no, it always is, but
season ticket holders.
Saturday afternoon, 3:00. I honestly thought it'd be mobbed in there, but I was really surprised to see that.
I know. What time's the full cup kick-off? Is that 5:30?
5:30, yeah.
No.
The only good thing about that for me is I'll be able to watch it nearby. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What time's the communion?
Communion, we start at 12, I think, 12:30.
Oh, you could make the game.
I can make the game, but I've been told I'm not going to the game, so I'm not going to the game.
So you go out for a fag and come back 3 hours later.
Come for a loaf.
No, because like I'd
smoking.
say the vast majority of the troops will all be skedaddling, but there's a whole load of people coming from different places. Do you know what I mean? And if a load of them don't go to the game, it would be fucking rhyme for me to kind of go right.
You need to play ball.
Yeah. Well, at least it's at home and somebody can use the brief. Do you know what I mean? So.
Oh God! It's just it's got to be interesting.
Oh, no, sorry, I wasn't. I unlike you, right? And this is where I'm going to be negative again, negative Scott. Being part of the collective, I've Celtic support have scunnered me to a massive degree this year in terms of. I mean, people keep saying, "Oh, it's not as bad as the '90s. It's not bad," and I do understand it's not as bad as the Kellys, and it's maybe more dangerous. You know what I mean? But it's not as bad as that. It's not as bad as that. The board have always hated it. We've always hated the board, and I get all that, right? But I can't remember a point where our fans are getting victimised and our own don't stand up for them. And Celtic fans they've really let me down on a whole load of things this year. Even do you remember when we done the silences and you had all these people telling us how we weren't the real Celtic fans and I was, do you see the silence game? I was expecting loads of people to be singing just out of spite, and they couldn't even do that. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't have the same. It was great to have the GB back in, and do you know what another thing that kind of got to me is that people think the GB coming back in and everybody was going to be happy and the roar is on to victory. That was the one. The roar is on to victory. I would imagine that half of the boys and lassies that are back in must be absolutely scunnered with Celtic. Just being totally treated like garbage. Because they get booted out and now they're back in and they're under the exact same fucking pressures and fucking scrutiny and stewardship as they were before. Nothing's changed. They've not walked in as free men. They've walked in with the same pish. And I mean, they're better men than me. Are better people than me because I'd be fucking pretty spiteful being treated that way, to be honest. I didn't expect. I knew they would come in and I knew they would support the team as they always do. I mean, like seeing the second half, Giza go. It was almost desperate, wasn't it? Giza goes, Giza go. I wasn't. I thought they were brilliant. I thought them and the boys, as always, were brilliant. But
they were. Just the rest of
our support stinks.
That give us a goal is a fucking low point of the season. A really low season, man.
That's the worst song ever.
Yeah. Did you watch? I asked you the Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona game, and the atmosphere like that, and we've all been part of the atmospheres like that at Celtic Park, and I have got my doubts where Celtic Park can get back to that level. And maybe it's me being negative for negative sake, but I just don't know, man.
That's fair. That's really fair.
I watched it and I watched the Atletico Madrid fans, and it was unbelievable how they supported their team that other night. And I was like,
but there's two big factors, Scott, isn't there? One we've talked about a million times, right? Everyone at that stadium's had them seats for 30 years or whatever, right? But that might be typical for other clubs. But we've had pretty much unprecedented success for such a long period now that it's taken a lot for us to get the whole support up as a one sort of thing. You know, we've just been spoiled by a long period as well. So whereas the game you're talking about there, but no, but it's true. You know, people have become complacent. It's a fact. You know, they're relying on the groups for the atmosphere. Well, the game Scott's talking about, that's a massive game for that club there, trying to get through to win a Champions League and stuff. It's a different, it's a different setting, is what I mean.
And Scott, and if you can take it back to some of the European nights, even in recent seasons, we've had great atmospheres as well, you know. And that would happen. Can you imagine we were in the quarterfinals of Champions League? You know, the atmosphere.
Oh no,
unbelievable.
Jason, I did caveat it by saying I'm just being negative because I'm all very negative with the Celtic supporter now.
Rightly so.
I think we need that. I would love. See if again, get back to the whole Dermot. Oh, Dermot Dowes was put all this money into Celtic. I'll tell you what. See, if I had the money and I put it into Celtic, I'd be doing more than him. I'd be more proactive than him. I would have Celtic better than him, right? But I don't have the money, so it's on him. And to me, about 5 years ago, if you think the GB are fucking pushing it, find other ways to rejuvenate the support, but they don't want it. They don't want this fucking atmosphere. And it's up to them because I don't know. I'm like I say, you're probably right. I'm just being fucking down on.
Just being totally fucking, outlandish here, right? You've got two ultra groups they've got a massive presence at Celtic Park and at away games. Why don't you have a fucking weekly meeting with them? Do you know what I mean? Talk to them. Say, right, we'll help you. What could we do this week?
Yeah.
What could we do next week? What could we do? You know, fucking, you've actually got fucking.
Do you know an easy one for me was? Sorry, Jason. An easy one for me was like, so I watched the Borussia Dortmund, right? And then Borussia Dortmund have got that whole stand behind, and I think they've got 6 or 7 different ultra groups. Well, they certainly used to. I know a few of them went by the wayside, but they all stand in that big standing section, right? But the club basically put in rails at the top so they could do tifos where they pull it up. And they've had some of the most majestic. I mean, there's an easy win. Just put up things so Celtic fans, so they don't need to unfurl things, so they can just pull one up for the deck, and there it is, and it would look magnificent. Help them out, right? Give them something, and they'll give you something back. But we just batter them. And I'm not saying the GB, the boys are fucking innocent, right? I know they're no. They've even admitted themselves they're no. But when you're making up trumped up charges to turn people against them, then we're at fucking endgame, really.
It's shambolic. It's fucking disgraceful. You know, and at the end of the day,
Tom Allison's going.
Oh, aye. 25 years has been magnificent. Tell me one of his key achievements. Right? I'd love to know. Give us Tom's fucking legacy, what he's delivered for Celtic. I'd love to know. I'd love to have it fucking written down here. Honestly, see these fucking faceless muppets that are non-executive directors, including Desmond.
Oh, but I keep hearing this week, Tom was one of the guys that would actually speak up against Dermot Desmond. I was like, was he really?
Is that how the vote was only 99.1% instead of 99.2% of the fucking votes? Honestly.
Mate, Tom Allison, right? A leading Scottish belt, a lifelong Celtic supporter has gave nearly 20. See the diatribe of fucking plaudits to this guy for the Celtic, right? Dermot Desmond came out and spoke about him. Brian Wilson came out. Mike the Mute never said fuck all, right? See, and they allowed him a quote and all that. John Kennedy, who supported Celtic, fucking worked for Celtic, done every job at Celtic, kept the club together when fucking Neil Lennon left. Fucking that guy who was lambasted everybody got a fucking sentence when he left Celtic. And that was 3 months.
Left out a side door.
Fucking pish. It sums up our wee fucking bowling club of a team. A club, should I say. There you go. There's all my positivity. Fucking right out of it.
And the season ticket renewals are doing what fucking. See, at the end of the day, nobody's renewing because I'm not renewing. I mean, at the end of the day, right? We're all going to renew because the danger is you'll not get your seat back.
Yes.
And we're just all addicted to going to watch Celtic. So they've got you by the fucking Homebhoys. But it's fucking terrible. You know, and whatever manager we're going to get. I mean, I would take Jens Berta last year in a minute. And I know it's a gamble, but I just think somebody like him, he could rejuvenate the team. But will they go for somebody like that? Fuck knows. But aye, it's fucking no doom and gloom.
I apologise, I broke that. Sorry, Johnny.
So what's your plans for Sunday?
Oh, quiet man again, mate. Quiet man. I'm keeping my well. That all kind of depends. I might wake up on Saturday and kind of go, fuck it. I need something. But as it sits now, I'm getting the train on. I'll get the train back. I'll be up the road to watch. The Arsenal game. No, I'm kind of holding my water for a baby for next week. But as I say, those plans are certainly in abeyance. So, what about yourself?
But myself, I'm getting the bus for Blantyre at 8 on Sunday morning down to Liverpool for the derby.
I wouldn't surprise me if it was 8 to Hampden, knowing you.
I'm going to the first Merseyside derby at Hill Dickinson Stadium. So I'm not even going to be there. And Everton game kicks off at the same time, so I might barely watch it. So some Celtic support that one.
Oh, brilliant. All right, Liam. Save us, Liam. Save us.
Well, you've just got to pass because obviously you'd have booked that game before the draw was made for the cup.
This was booked months ago. Aye.
Yeah. I suppose it's a small get out there. I suppose we'll let you off for that one.
Aye, there was no guarantees, and so you're doing on the bus. Then Stein take a bag down. There's a squad is going. Stein in Liverpool. I've actually booked this apartment. Fucking the guy's not even messaged me back. Sent him a fucking deposit and all. Paid it. Sent him a deposit. Fucking radio silence. I hope it's all right. It's in the city centre. I've seen the reviews. Folk are saying the guy never gets back to end it, but nobody says it never fucking transpired, so it should be all right. So there's me, Jerry, Cookie, wee Scott, Con. There's a squad is all in. So
is your staying in Land Digs?
Aye, I've got an apartment booked.
We done that recently, man. We were doing for a stag do, and we booked. I think we had a 8-bedroom one in the centre of town.
Right.
I was buying on apart from the shower being called. That was it.
Right. Aye, we've got one Dale Street. It's the good Everton boozers there, Excelsior. Because the thing is, in the city centre now, loads of boozers are proper Everton boozers now because these ones always work, right? They always would have been blue boozers. But because a lot of Everton fans now congregate in the city centre before they go to the game, loads of pubs have proper Everton boozers.
What was the boozer I was in? The Vernon Arms.
The Vernon Arms, no. Whereabouts is that?
Mate, the boozer was on a fucking slope. Swear to God, right? It was on a fucking hill. And see when the toilet was at the top end, so you fucking by the time you got to the toilet I had to crawl in. But the guy was telling me it was an Everton boozer one week and a Liverpool boozer the next week. That was fucking magic. Some place, man. Aye, so are you confident Liverpool are on?
Oh, by the way, you're next near where we are. I know that far. We're in Dale Street. Not that far for that, Vernon, because Moorfield's train station's pretty near us.
Trace, are you staying Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Right. Okay, you're going down morning of the game and then staying over.
You're 2 minutes away from where we'll be, mate. You're actually in the exact same street. See if you come out the Vernon Arms, you turn. Our digs are right where you're.
That was a boozer we went into because the fucking the Premier Inn's around the corner for there, innit?
Right.
So a whole load of the boys were staying in the Premier Inn, and all the bags were in all the bags were on a bus, and the bus boot get locked. So we all waded into that boozer.
Aye. So that's the street you're staying in, right? So you just go along for there. See if you go along your left as you're walking towards Lime Street. The Excelsior and the Shipping Miters there.
What was I reading as we were staying on this topic then? I was reading about a famous Everton boozer shutting down because of the fucking...
The Winslow. Right,
what was it called? The Winslow, that was the one.
Aye, shut down.
It's a bit of a shame, innit?
The brick's still there, County Road, so probably go there after. We'll need to go and check in.
Did they run a bus or something, did they?
They run a bus, aye. Mark runs a bus, and so that's still getting a right turn. Loads of Evertonians are still supporting it, but it's a shame for all the pubs running about Goodison. It's sad what's happened. But it's got to be interesting, this derby. It's it's friendly in terms because there's families splitting that, but fucking chaos at it, right? But seeing when it was Goodison and Anfield, right, it was dead easy to police because they all drunk about the King Harry and all the boozers about Anfield, and they'll just walk through Stanley Park. When you walk through Stanley Park, you get a police escort and they put you in the buildings just at the right of the park end. So that's the nearest bit of Goodison to Anfield, right? So it's easy to bring them down, put them in there after the game, ship them up, they'll walk through Stanley Park and they're back to all their boozers, right? And when Everton played at Anfield, they would all walk through Goodison, through Stanley Park. When you get to the other end of Stanley Park, you're at the Annie Road end, so you go right into the Everton end. So it's easy to police. You take, fuck knows how they're going to get their way in there. Because none of them have, well, most of them have never been afore, right? So if they're all at the King Harry and they're all walking down to Anfield to get into their way in, fuck knows how they're going to get them in. Because it's not like a waiting. I don't think they would walk up for the city centre. I don't know how it'll go. It could be fucking chaos. But aye, interesting.
Yeah, good. Any more set? You what? Liam, what about you on Sunday?
Our pal Big Ziggy's up, mate, for the game. So he's arriving Saturday. He's going back home after the game, so we'll have a few pints, I think, around the game, but nothing too much work on Monday. So yeah, just got the pints down to the game, hope for the best, and then see where that takes us. Semi-finals are always a bit of a strange one, and you just don't want to get beat in that sort of game and get yourself to the final. So just hope to get down there, mate, and tick it off. And then we've got something to look forward to for the end of the season. Although, wait and see.
So it's going to be one of the ones, but isn't it? See if we don't win the league, then you get a couple.
Well, that's what I was trying not to say, but that's what O'Neill himself said today, Jace, in the press conference. He was kind of like his last game there. Obviously, was that.
After we lost helicopter Sunday.
Yeah.
Everybody's just sitting with their head in their hands at the final.
Exactly. That's what he said today. So it'd be great for that to be the last game to give him the send-off we want to give him. But obviously the circumstances will dictate.
But as you went back to when you mentioned the spoil thing, Liam, right? And I get what you're saying, right? Domestically, right? Obviously, European, we're no fucking spoiled. It's just a fucking disgrace the way Celtic perform in Europe. But if you go back to when Big Pierre scored 1-0 against Airdrie in the final, we celebrated for about a fucking week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Winning the Scottish Cup, and it was just unbelievable. And it just shows you how times change and how things change and how it doesn't have the same appeal. But if you win the league and then we're going to that final, what a fucking day! It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, mate, Craig Brewster scored the fucking goal to stop the Huns winning a treble. And I fucking celebrated that for a week.
Unbelievable. I'd a tenner on Dundee United to win it 8-1. What a fucking night we had. Oh my God. Up the keys. The keys used to have a band on every Saturday night. Fucking what a night that was. But it just shows you how fucking your priority things change. You know, and domestically, it's been great. But we're still in there fighting, so fingers crossed, you know, it's just get a cup final. Every game we play is a cup final. Right? And we can still do it. Do I think we'll do it? Probably no, but at the end of the day, I'm just glad we're in with a chance. Do you think about it? We've lost 8 league games this season and we're still in with a shout.
It sums up the title, that sums up the title race.
Hearts have won the fucking lottery this year.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
If Russell Martin or Wilfred Nancy, either or, weren't managers for either team, probably one is would be outside.
Do you know an alternative point, see us being kind of negative, is see if the Huns and or Hearts don't win a title. What a fucking body blow it's going to be to them.
Well, one of them is going to be, at least one of them is going to be fucking crestfallen at them.
Because the Huns have kind of put themselves back in the thing and they're choking for it. Hearts have been leading the way for fucking nigh on. And we saw what happened to Hearts after fucking we done it to them 8-6, know what I mean? See if Celtic... If Celtic end up winning this title, what a body blow it'll be to both of them. Danny Rowe won't be the fucking Danny Rowe. Danny Rowe, for day one, he'll be under fucking serious pressure, right? Now, Do I think we'll win it? No, I do not. But we're in it, and it might. And if it does, the thing is, though, I don't think, first of all, do we deserve to win it? No, but that's not how football works. Does the club, forget about us, does the club, the players maybe, does the club deserve to have a fucking another league championship? No, because you know they'll fucking rub it in their face. Rather than celebrate with it, they'll use it against us.
Yeah.
But, as I say, I can set myself to sleep knowing that there would be mass explosions of heads fucking all over fucking Edinburgh and Glasgow, man, if we did that.
Both of them are under all sorts because it's in their grasp now. Both of them, the pressure will start mounting big time, so we'll wait and see. See one thing back to the FITBA, I've seen it mooted a couple of times and I'm kind of up for it, but I don't know what you think. Do you think it'd be worthwhile playing Kieran Tierney at right back with Sriracha at left back?
I've heard that, mate.
Do you not think? I would do it, by the way.
I put it in the same camp as, right. Remember when we had Brian on and Brian was talking about playing in different positions and stuff?
That I was actually thinking about that when I was thinking about this.
So see Frank McAvaney, right? So I watch his thing as well. He talks one lot of shit, but I still watch it. I watch it almost to say what he's going to say. And he's been going on about Negrin playing up front, right? And if he's saying it, then
he was a top striker in fair.
Exactly. Then I'm kind of going. And he started off as a midfielder. So then it kind of puts my opinion almost to the side because he's been there, he's played at the top level, international striker. But he said it to John Hartson and John Hartson went, nah. John Hartson shut it down. He's like, nah. Because, see, again, unlike a lot, he'll be playing with his eyes towards goal, whereas playing up front for Celtic mean you're back to goal. And I think I think you might get the fact that he pounces on things, but I think you'll lose any goodness from him if you've done that and not gain the goodness. But that's just how I see it. Because
I agree with that because see in his midfield position, see when balls are getting crossed into the box, he's still going to get in the end of them the position he's playing to do, right? So you say to yourself, what's he going to bring to the table with playing up front?
Yeah.
I
mean, see, right now, the defence are almost dealing with a striker, and he's allowed, albeit he's not scored recently, so this is kind of moot what we're saying. If he's the man up top, then you've got somebody on you constantly, so he's no getting that. I mean, what suggests to us, apart from his finishing, that he would bring playing up front? Because he doesn't win headers. He doesn't really chase people down. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it'll work. However, that's just my amateur opinion.
See as well, Scott, we don't really play. See forwards winning headers. When was the last time?
No.
It's not even part of the game anymore, really. It's like the only way you would win a header is by headering a close ball in, and we get very rarely. We're a small team. We're very rarely crossing them high into the box for a header.
We're a scarce team. I think we're just totally weird and nothing we do. So see Kieran Tierney. I mean, then Kieran Tierney, you're almost getting to a point where I know Scales is suspended, but if you put Kieran Tierney in, you're going to have four left-footed players in the defence.
My thought process was to get Sriracha in the team.
No, I understand the logic.
But I mean, see as well, right? Contradict myself again. See the one part of our team that's actually no bad in it, it's the defence.
The defence. I've got sympathy for the defence, as you say. They're doing all right. They're not great, but every because we are no scoring goals or we are no even creating goals, any mistakes at the back are being hypercritically analysed.
But think about it.
So no, just to finish your point, you think about it. If we are not creating anything up top, then we're no sitting here saying, fuck me. I mean, remember that Dundee United game we get beat? What were we talking about that night? Were we talking about the defence?
No.
No, we were talking about the fact we missed 8 million chances. We're not creating chances. So we won 1-0 the other day, and all I heard was Tierney was awful, Scales was awful. Both with a clean sheet.
And the thing is, as well, when was the last time we shipped a few goals? You know, Ibrox, 2 goals in the first half. But two quality finishes.
No, fucking hanging, Dundee United.
Aye, sorry. But what I'm saying is, in general terms, we're not really shipping goals at the back. And you've got to think Sinisalo's made a massive difference. That's another fucker. You know, when you think about Schmeichel. With Sinisalo in 4 weeks before he was, you know, where would we be sitting? But
Come back to Rodgers, fucking Sinisalo against Aberdeen in the cup final. Fuck me.
I know. But fucking but I don't think the defence is really. I mean, St Mirren, for all the ball they had in the middle of the park,
they never. Nah, I said that. Aye.
You know, the defence has actually been pretty good. So, maybe you don't change it. Ralston, to be fair to him, is all right. He does a job. You know, he does a job. So, you're probably better off just keeping it the way it is. But
Ralston sums up where we are. Ralston should have been refreshed ages ago.
Yeah. He's a solid guy to have to come off the bench if you get an injury. You know, and he's a guy who'll not go on big wages and whatever. So I'm all right with him as a number 2, but it's when he's your number 1.
But I mean, again, going way back to the start of what we were talking about, this season, I mean, Donovan comes in, he's looking all right for a bit, and then fucking injured. You know what I mean?
I know, that's mad. And yeah, when you think about the injuries, I mean, when you get back to the Kyogo signing, right, I'll be honest with you, I was delighted seeing me get Jota back. I'm like, fucking hell, I couldn't believe we get him back. I think Jota's one of the fucking best players I've seen the Celtic at. You know, seeing he's on his game, fucking what a player to watch. And then we get him back, and then that fucking injury, and you're just like, Jesus Christ. But by all accounts, people that's had that injury and looking at other folk, that is the kind of timeline to come back. There's the big worry, will he come back? You know, will he come back and be a player? You know?
Big Wally come back.
Big Wally.
I know him for the Gorbals. Liam, something to see, my man.
Yeah, I know we didn't want to finish on a sad note, mate, but
well, I'm going to talk about Ronaldinho after this. So
okay, well, yeah, we lost somebody a bit special the last few weeks. I just wanted to give a quick mention to him. So, a boy Jason knows well, same as me, a boy called Simon Loftus. Some of the guys who listen to the show sure will know him as well. Tragically lost his life to cancer, age 51, to throat cancer. Had a really tough battle with it over the last year or so. A top guy. He had a smile as wide as a Clyde and a heart that was 10 times bigger than his smile as well. Jason and I met him through the Den Social Club we mentioned on here before, which friend of the show, Mark Wiley, set up very much in the same ethos as what we try and do on the show here. It was set up just to literally raise money, get money together, look for people that needed a hand, needed help, and go out and do some work to support them. And, you know, Simon was very much one of the key contributors into that group, very selfless, always putting, you know, money. I was looking back on some of the chats with him, you know, donated an Xbox in one of the kind of appeals that we did, you know, just always happy to hand over money. You know, we're all kind of similar people. We're all working class people. You know, we've done well for ourselves, got decent jobs. Simon was very successful, worked up in Aberdeen in the oil industry for quite a while, but never forget his roots, you know, and always looked down and around to help people that needed a hand up rather than stepping on people to go up the way. And yeah, had a big heart, a big personality, a great sense of humour, and he was great company. Jason, you've been in his company plenty of times as well. So a tragedy at that age to lose somebody like that. So just wanted to give him a mention on the show, and he'll be sadly missed. A good guy.
Aye, well said, Liam. I was thinking about that earlier to say it as well, but oh my God, what a shame. A lovely, lovely guy. And he let some of the listeners know some of the things that he done. He cycled around Palestine. This was a few years ago before the obviously main attack in Gaza happened. And cycled around Palestine to raise money for Palestinians. And he's one of these guys, Scott, honest to God, right? He'd appear, you'd just see, never tell you where he was going and stuff like that. Next thing he'd be appearing in Colombia and all that, and jungles in South America and that, sitting with folk, and just one of these fucking radiators in life guys, mad into cycling, absolute fit as a fiddle, wasn't even a big bevy merchant, just like fucking so sad that, really bad. And Minnesota Fats, the snooker club guy, Davy Johnson, he texted me straight away, Liam, and obviously he went in there quite a lot as well because he lived in the south side. And I sorely missed, and lovely, lovely guy, and just rest in peace, Simon. But big Celtic fan, just a right good guy, you know, just one of these guys. You don't meet many guys like him. You know, he was the kind of guy, if you were in his company, he always had a story, but never ever overbearing with stories. You had to kind of pry it out of him. Where were you there? Oh, just a wee jaunt to South America. You're like, oh, what was that all about? And just, he was like a wild, free spirit, wasn't he? He was just done things like on his own and just went places and just travelled, and just a gem of a guy.
Yeah, I think he did that the Palestine thing twice, Jason. I think he rode around Gaza twice, I think. We definitely did it once, but I think he maybe did it a couple of times. And I think he was in South America multiple times, wasn't he? Like you said, he would just turn up on Facebook just in the middle of nowhere. So, and you can see why he could get on with anybody anywhere. So, huge personality, but always in a positive way. Always a good guy and just looking to help other people. So, he'll be sadly missed, and we'll hopefully give him a good send-off when we know the information.
Yep, well said.
Well done, man. Well done. I don't know the fella, but that's a shame. God bless him. Right. No. I'm gonna go old school for you. Recommendations. Fucking Ronaldinho on Netflix. 3-parter. So it's on for an hour and 55 minutes each of them. I've got to say, his story, whilst it was interesting, right? Because I would imagine that we all sit here and we've all got our opinion on Ronaldinho. At one point, the best in the world, one of the best players ever to play the game of football. I didn't know his starting story. I remember him during the World Cup. I knew he was at Paris. Didn't know nothing about him at Paris. Knew he was just good. And then obviously I knew about Barcelona. And I thought he fell off a cliff, but when he went to Brazil, he actually done all right. And then it kind of touches on him being in the nick and stuff like that. It's well worth a watch, especially for people of our generation who remembers him and stuff like that. Well worth a watch. Great show. He talks one lot of shite. Nothing's his fault. His brother seems like the dodgiest character on the planet. But, I mean, ultimately, what I do for the Brazilians are fucking just money. You know what I mean? Money. But it's good show. I would recommend it to you all.
Yeah, saw it earlier. Donna and I said we'd sit and watch that. So
it's good, mate. It's good.
Yeah, fancy that.
So, Scott, what's his backstory? Did he come off money, or was he?
No. He was. I mean, he wasn't in total degradation, but he was a typical wee. His dad played football, but not at a great level, and then his brother actually played for Grêmio, and his brother got a decent dough, and I think he might actually even have played for the Brazil national team. His brother was a decent player. His brother's a wido, you know what I mean? So his brother was his agent his whole time. And everything he talks about is, we made it, and all that. But his brother was his hero, and there's a wee sad story in that with his man, his dad, and all that. But it's good, man, it's good. Like I say, so Pascal's my mate, French PSG fan, and I text him after I watched it, and I say, Ronaldinho, and he says, mate, what a player, but he was just turning up when he wanted to. And you know what I mean? And he says, do you know how annoying that is? And you can imagine. Do you know what I mean? It was just, and it was a good show. Entertaining.
Do you know what? Do you know what? But see with his brother being his agent, I love that. See Nicholas and Elka, his brother was his agent as well. I love that. Because see these, do you know what I mean? Agents, parasites, whatever, are just there, just reaping. Fucking, I said to Kieran, I said to Mick Tierney, I says, you be his agent. I says, he's good enough. He's going to go places. Doesn't need fucking the agent to get him the fucking deal. They're not. See if somebody's that good, you don't need an agent. You're going to get the move. The clubs are going to come in for you. And all these agents days just take fucking 10%, 15%, 20%. And you think to yourself, see at the end of your career, you actually sit back and you say, so how much money did I make them and how much money did they make me? I tell you one thing, I know who'd be the winner. So I love that, see when it's a brother or something like that that does it.
But as I say, watch it, and then
maybe I'll change my mind then.
No. He's not terrible because the two of them are still the best of mates and all that. I mean, he's obviously looked after him, but his brother makes the hard decisions, But like without wanting to ruin it, one of the things like see when he was wanting to leave Brazil, so they kind of manufacture problems to get out of somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And nothing's ever his fault. Oh no, they just turned on me, and you're like, oh, fuck's sake, you know what I mean? You were turning up, but we're playing for this team. We're playing for this team, and they wear Adidas. But he's got a night deal, so we've got to find a night team. You know what I mean? And all that shit. I'm like, but he's a happy cunt. I mean, it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch. I just laugh at him. Like, I always laugh at these shows where nothing's their fault. Do you know what I mean? Aye, this cunt done that. You're like, aye, very good. I mean, even the stuff we get the neck and all that. I mean, you're like, what the fuck?
Is it on subtitles? Aye.
Yeah, subtitles. But I had to put one episode with the fucking American thing, which was terrible.
No, I like watching things with subtitles because it stops it stops you getting on your phone and stuff like that.
But the thing is, we put it on when we're eating our dinner, so we kind of put on the thing on the tap, and it's murder police. You know what I mean? But it's just how he finishes his career and stuff. Like, and even him in he just floats about. You know what I mean?
I know. See,
right. We'll call it then.
That's one thing you can say as a Celtic supporter. You see them live in the flesh,
That's it, aye. So we saw a fair amount of them. A fair amount of fucking. Well, once the summer comes in, we can do that. The best team you've seen against is live.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be good.
I see. You think about it. We've been blessed with the amount of players that we've seen. Have even gone in your European travels or at Celtic Park, European competition. Right
off the top, who's the best player, friendly or whatever, that played against us that whilst maybe you'd heard it, but you didn't appreciate how good he was until he played?
The one that jumps out to me, there's two, right? And it takes you back, showing you my age, but one, younger ones wouldn't even have heard him, but that Patrice Loco, when he played with PSG.
Never heard him. I'd never heard him, man.
Aye, he was fucking, and he didn't really go into anything after that, wasn't he?
Because he was officially mental. He missed the first game. He missed the first game because he was in an insane asylum.
Is that right?
And then, that's it. He was in the fucking nut job. That's how he missed the first game.
Actually, I was at the game in Paris.
And that's basically, and I don't think his career it went just for the same part, you know what I mean?
Aye. And the other one was with Borussia Dortmund, that Stefan Shapley son. Fucking hell. What a player he was, man. Unbelievable.
Liam?
Mine have been pretty obvious ones, do you know? I mean, Iniesta, obviously, I thought was incredible when he played with us. I thought Modric was probably as good as anything I've seen.
I know, but you knew
Park.
they were top notch.
Yeah,
I'm talking guys that kind of you went.
Another one, Prozinecki.
Yeah, that's everyone's one, isn't it? The random one for me, Scott, was we played Sunderland, I think, back in O'Neill's time, and Kevin Phillips. I know he was well known, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant in that game that he played. Quite a random one, but he just really stuck out for me.
Right, really interesting. You see that? I'll come back once you see your next one.
But that was it. Just that was the kind of the random one that stuck out for me.
So here was the ones that stuck out for me, right? And Lilian Thuram for Parma in the friendly was unbelievable. I mean, I'd heard him, but he made right. Do you ever remember the big Portuguese guy, Fernando Couto?
Yep.
Right, Fernando Couto played for Barcelona in a friendly against us, and he made football look like the easiest thing in the world. Don't get me wrong.
We made a song up about him.
Go on.
It was
one, two, three.
It was basically the words of Aidan McInnesby, but sorry, the tune of Aidan McInnesby, but it was like when because Fernando Couto played against Rangers, didn't he? They bombed him out of, can't mind where it was, Champions League or something like that. And then he says, Couto, why did you do it?
Right, okay. Right, so Couto, they two were in friendlies, right? Villarreal and Riquelme.
Yeah.
Again, I'd heard the Riquelme, and obviously it never really went well for him at Barcelona under Louis van Gaal. But I don't think he moved out of this wee circle and he tore us apart that night. Just tore us apart.
Prozinecki as well.
Prozinecki was the exact same, mate. Yeah, perfect. And Liam, you were talking about one there. You were talking about Kevin Phillips.
Yeah.
We played Sunderland in a friendly. And what was the name of the big black forward that played for them around that time?
I thought it was Phillips
and
Quinn.
Kenman Jones. Remember him?
Yeah.
Mate, again, he was just immense. And I was like, and I remember as he kind of fell down, I was going, we should go and get him. Great big player. Anyway.
Do you know... Sorry, Liam, you go.
Just got that game against Parma. I'm sure I mentioned that a few months ago. Is that not the game that Larson made his debut in?
Could have been, by the way.
What happened?
I asked that. Yeah, because I didn't know Scott who had played for Parma, and I said to you guys, what was so important about that game against Parma? And somebody picked up that it was Larson's debut. I'd heard him say it on one of the shows.
Yeah.
Do you know I remember that game? Because it's one of the only 4 Celtic games that Linda's ever been to. She's been to Dinamo Zagreb away, Chelsea away, and Notre Dame, Parma, and then one game with the Kano Foundation with the kids. She's been to 4 Celtic games, and it was that because we left early. We were going to a night in Ayr with Tony McAvoy and his missus, and the 40s were there. We left the game early, you didn't hear a night out with Jock and that.
Well, Liam, I'm going to piss on your fucking start there.
I've just checked. It's not the same game.
No. Henrik Larsson was signed from Feyenoord for 650,000 in a 3-year contract. Clearance for him to play in this game failed to arrive. So
it was definitely said he played. He
was definitely no played. I mean, the team: Marshall, McNamara, Mackay, Boyd. McKinley,
no, Scott, take it back. What he said was they brought him on the pitch at half time.
Right. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, fucking say that, Liam, instead of just making shit up, mate.
He's just come back to me, mate. Sorry. Parma. Yeah, there you go. Parma, Thuram, Buffon, Zimmeria, Thuram, Cannavaro, Benarivo.
You sound like you're kind of stealing my thunder here, Liam. No, I mean, even
sorry, mate, go for it.
Because you made a cunt, you're stealing my thunder here, you know what I mean?
Go for it, brother.
Do you know played for Celtic that day?
Do you know what kindly off topic, right? Well, it's kind of not, it's not a Celtic game, it was an Everton game. But see we're talking about one player. No, but see you're talking about one player that blew your mind? And see, this just comes to me as soon as MD was to say anything, it's one player that blew your mind, right? And it was 1994, and Everton it was the time Everton beat Wimbledon to stay up. Last game of the season, they were 2-0 down. The Hans Seegers one, they won 3-2. It was the week before it. I went to Leeds away. They gave Everton like 8,000 tickets, and basically they thought they had to take something for Leeds or they were getting relegated, right? And I went to the game. It was fucking chaos. But anyway, at the game, at half time, it's 0-0. And Everton were the better team, had 2 or 3 chances. And Leeds United brung on a 35 or 36-year-old Gordon Strachan. And honest to God, I've never been blown away by somebody in a football park like that in my life. He stood in the halfway line and didn't move, and Leeds won 3-0. And he just fucking directed the traffic and just fucking tell everybody what to do. And see the fucking balls he was playing. I walked out of that game mesmerised. I'm like, what the fuck just happened there? And that was Everton. So they had to win the last game of the season. That was the infamous day. It was the last stand of the Cop at Anfield. We get the train back to Liverpool, and it was fucking World War III, man. Okay. But Gordon Strachan that day, what a fucking player he was, by the way. And folk don't realise that, you know, they just think fucking this fucking crazy guy that loves mad quips and I love him. No, and he's fucking
right. To back that up, that kind of touches back to my thing about signing people. And Gordon Strachan. So Gordon Strachan was part of the team that won the league, yeah, with Leeds. That's correct. Didn't
yes.
Him and McAllister were kind of big parts in that team.
Yeah.
And
last team to win the Old English First Division.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, and he kept playing because he had a desire to play. And if you remember, what I loved about football back then was see your older players, like top-notch players, they would go and find, if they wanted to keep playing football, they would go and find somewhere. And you used to get these class players playing in really weird places, like the Bolton guys, right? So you JJ Okocha, you had Fernando Hierro, Freddie Bobic, all turning up for Bolton. Do you remember Mancini went and played with fucking Leicester?
Yeah.
You had all these things. Baggio, when he dropped down the leagues and he ended up playing with Bologna and stuff like that. Guys, you just went and they went just to enjoy football. And you don't get that anymore because of the amount of money.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And the guys are fitter, they don't need to drop down. And then if they're dropping down, they maybe lost their hunger. But to come back to what we're talking about, Jason, here, how's this one? Right? So it kind of touches in. PSG and mental health. During his early years at Paris Saint-Germain, he suffered a highly publicised mental breakdown following the tragic loss of a child. He underwent psychiatric treatment and successfully returned to football, helping PSG win the 1996 UEFA Cup. But he for that whole time at PSG, he was treated for depression, and he ended up just dropping down the leagues. That was at Patrice Local.
Bloody hell.
And he retired at the age of 34, I think. But he was offered loads of Italian team, an Irish Premier team, and he went to them and then kind of just didn't want it, and he just quit football. So it's quite a tragic story, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he was unbelievable. I remember
that whole PSG team. I've said it before. We all loved him for years after that game, and then I went and watched it back. See Gordon Masso, you could fucking strangle that clown, man.
Mind the one Big Pierre said the floodlights get in his
floodlights, he missed an open goal, wasn't it, man?
Oh, fucking hell. What a trip that was. We took over that stadium. It was a mad fucking thing. Obviously, your mate would be able to explain it better, right? But it was funny, right? Because we were an official Celtic away end, but so we were in like the old Parc de France. We were like I don't know if we were at the side where the tunnel was or whatever, but we were like in the main stand, top tier, getting room nearly behind the goal, but there's big fences, big nets, and then it was there proper behind the goal at the left of us. So we were just right at that bit. So the ones at the left of us, all these PSG Irish clan, and there was loads of like mixed race boys, black guys, white guys, whatever, and they were all kind of dead friendly towards us, the ones that were near us. And then the one out at the Cop de Boulogne, it was the far away side to the right of us, they'd all fucking Rangers flags, all that fucking, and I think that was like the fascist mob or something, I don't know, because correct me if I'm wrong here, Scott, but I'm pretty sure, see, back in the day, PSG used to have 2 away sections when they went to keep their fans apart.
Yeah.
Because there was 2 sections.
100% correct.
Aye. I wonder how I wonder how the clubs managed that. How did they fucking separate away fans?
I'll send you, I've got a thing about it and I'll send you. All right? Because obviously it's funny because Pascal was involved in all that, do you know what I mean? And he would be the smelly side of it. And the irony is he's turned out to be a fucking mad rebel and all that.
Oh, with he being in the Cop de Boulogne that
night. But he, because as you say, there would have been the nationalist side and there would have been the kind of immigrant side, and they all hated each other and they used to battle, and he was in that. But I mean, the irony is he's now fucking Tim Dootie's nut. And you go and look at the PSG fans now. They're constant. Every time they play English teams, they're fucking tricoloured Celtic stuff and all that because they know the English fucking hate us. Do you know what I mean?
And the Palestinian flags everywhere. You see them exactly.
So I've got to admit, right? So I never really had any concern about PSG, and I knew Pascal liked him and all that. And then see when the Qataris bought them all, I was like, fuck them fucking rats, man. Fucking I still have a bit of that, to be honest. But I have to admit, the supporters have kind of, the past couple of years, I was like, these guys are magic, man. I know they've got a connection with the GB or the boys, I think. But they jam it into the English big times, you know what I mean? So,
oh, aye. And when you see the videos of them all walking into the game, it's all mixed race, you know. And it's like, the proper away support as well. Looks absolutely. And I get that, but it's not their fault. The Qataris bought them. Do you know what I mean? They're just
exactly.
That's the thing. I've got a wee bit of. I've never really had an Italian team, right? And obviously, I fucking don't really bother them, but Palermo, I really like fucking, because we went last year and we're going back this year, and I just fucking love the city. Didn't remind me of Bilbao, totally different, but the left wing element of the city, just Palestinian flags everywhere, and just multicultural, and everybody seemed, on the face of it, I'm just a tourist, so I don't fucking really know anybody for Palermo or whatever, but everybody seems to go on well, you know, it doesn't seem any fucking racial undertones, and just see all the left wing graffiti in the walls and everything. It just seemed like nice. And then watching videos of Palermo games, and they've got Palestinian flags and everything. So I kind of like that, but they're part of that Man City group. So
yeah. I actually watched a thing about Palermo recently, and the first 15 minutes was telling you about their history, and I was going, I feel fucks them, and then it says another way back. And then it says it's part of the match, and I was like, "Oh, boom, turn it off, fuck."
I watched that. Aye. And hopefully, when I go this time, they're at the cusp of the playoffs and all that for the Serie B. So I don't know, but fingers crossed when I get there this time they'll be playing. They didn't have a game on. I was there the last time. I'd love to go there. Stadium looks fantastic.
I've got shit to be doing, so
wrap it up the fuck.
Fuck that.
Right, say your goodbyes, man.
Yeah, good effort, boys.
Good effort, boys. Up the fucking toffees.
What a sell it in. Hey, boys, I'll speak to you soon.
Take it easy.
Yeah.